Hello guys, thank you so much for coming back to watch another video on my channel. Konami finally decided to listen to Silent Hill community and listen to Silent Hill fans who've been asking for the updates on the original games they announced on the Silent Hill transmission. And now they decided to do another Silent Hill transmission where they'll provide us updates on the original games, including the movie itself. So let's do some speculation. Let's find out what we can expect to see from this panel. So without wasting any time, let's dive into our video. And if you're brand new to my channel, just to let you know, I do cover quite a lot of videos around Silent Hill games and Resident Evil games. So if you do like that sort of content and you do end up liking this video, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because it would allow me to make more of this content for you guys. I am so glad that Konami finally decided to listen to the community and provide us more updates on these games which they originally announced. Because originally when Konami did Silent Hill transmission, I think it was a brilliant idea to showcase the world and tell us what games they're working on. And there was a lot of games announced, including the movie which is in production right now. And we know Silent Hill 2 Remake's trailer was actually become quite popular due to that transmission. And I thought Konami now finally deciding to listen to the community and work more closer to their fan base and provide us more updates as the games they're working on and take more feedback on board as to what we can provide them so they can make the best Silent Hill games we've been waiting for. But since that time, Konami went silent and didn't do any sort of confirmation. The only games they actually released was Silent Hill Ascension, and that game turned out to be a disaster. So I couldn't understand as how the marketing department works at Konami, as they originally announced all of these games on a big panel with a blowout session and then went quiet for a couple of years, and the only thing we got from them was Silent Hill Ascension, a game which didn't turn out to be great, and the only trailer we've seen for the most anticipated game, which is Silent Hill 2 Remake, and the trailer they showcased wasn't great either. But I'm glad that Konami now took this opportunity for this summer event, because there's nothing there at the moment. Sony hasn't announced officially, but the only thing we now know is they're doing some sort of a state of play event, which is not going to be great. And then we know there's a showcase in June for Xbox, and then we're still waiting for Capcom to do their own showcase or Resident Evil showcase. So I think it's a perfect time for them to market their games. So they took it upon themselves and confirmed on their Twitter account they consider this your invitation letter to Silent Hill. Tune in May 30th at 4 PM PDT to a Silent Hill YouTube channel for the second installment of the Silent Hill transmission, where we'll share game updates, a deeper look at the film, and new merch. So if you ask me, I am dead excited. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been waiting to see an actual gameplay footage for Silent Hill 2 Remake and Silent Hill Townfall. We don't know what is going on. There's another great indie developer who's working on it. And then we also got Silent Hill F, which goes in the mythos of Japanese horror, which is sort of a continuation as a sequel to the previous Silent Hill games. So let's dissect and find out what they're going to announce and what we can expect to see from this transmission. Now we know it's a dead giveaway. The Silent Hill 2 Remake would be there on the panel. I think this time around they will do a showcase of an actual gameplay footage, which they haven't showed us. And the only thing they showcased us was some gameplay small snippets through these trailers, and one of them didn't even turn out to be great. So I think it would be perfect time for Bloober team to showcase as to how the game is looking like. And this time around we will see a polished version of that game, which they confirmed themselves. It has been progressing really well, and we finally might be able to get an actual release date for Silent Hill 2 Remake. Then we have another Silent Hill game which I'm dead excited to talk about, is Silent Hill Townfall, and it's actually getting developed by No Code developer. Now they previously worked on Stories Unfold and I think the Observation game, and I think those games were great for what it was because these are indie developers, and I think they're working on a more narrative driven Silent Hill game. So if we look back onto their previous work, I think they can create a really good mystery, a really good horror game, and they can put a really good narrative to it. So I'm really excited for Silent Hill Townfall. I personally think it might be in first person. It might still play like PT. It might be proper scary game, which you would have this mystery about this character who's lost in this town. I don't know. It's just my speculation, but I personally think this game has a chance to be the best Silent Hill game from the list they've announced, which they're working on. They also did promise that they're going to be working hard and they'll showcase us when the game is ready, and I think they're taking enough time. They've been very quiet, which I think it was a great move. Get your game ready first, and then when you think it's ready to showcase to the world, then do it. And I think Silent Hill Transmission, which we're going to be seeing very soon, would be the best place to showcase a gameplay or a brand new trailer for this game. Then we have Silent Hill F, which is supposedly set in 1960s in Japan. There's a lot more potential that you can get to see these folklores of the Japanese horror, because Japanese horrors, if you've read about Japanese mangas, they're actually really terrifying, and Asian horror folklore in general is actually really terrifying. So if they're going to do that sort of concept and mold it into the Silent Hill franchise and make their own sort of enemies and monsters, I think it would be great, and it would be proper grotesque compared to the games we've seen before. There's a really good writer who's working on the story. It's called Ryukishi07 and is a supposedly really good talented writer, which I think would be a plus point for a game which is set in Japan. And I personally think this game might actually closely resemble to Siren games we've played on PlayStation 2, and I personally enjoy those games. And I think if they've done the gameplay properly and the story is great, which seems to be the case with the writer on board, I think this title has a chance to be the most unique Silent Hill games we have yet to see. And the only thing we have is a movie, Return to Silent Hill. Hopefully we might get to see a trailer footage on this transmission. And this time around, this movie is getting developed by the original director who worked on this original Silent Hill movie. He's called Christoph Gans, and he's actually a really nerd about the Silent Hill franchise. He knows a lot more about this lore and he respects that. And don't get me wrong, he's not on the level of big directors out there, but I think he's done really good work. There's a really good film he made. It's called Brotherhood of the Wolf, which came out I think in 2001. It was a really good movie. So if you want to check out, he's done some actually good movies. And I really enjoyed the original Silent Hill movie. I think the second one was terrible, but the first one was a throwback to the original games. So he's returning again to direct this movie, and this movie is going to be retelling of the story of James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2. And we're going to be seeing a new James Sunderland story which is going to be retold in a movie format. And to be honest, Silent Hill 2 has the best narrative out of all of these Silent Hill games. So I'm really excited to see on the May 30th as to what we're going to be seeing from Silent Hill Transmission. So what do you guys think about this news? Does that make you excited for Silent Hill games which are currently in development? Please do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below in this video. And that's it for the video, guys. I'll catch you again with another video on my channel. Until then, look after yourself. Have a good one.